It was Latin, remember? So let's go back to the Romans. So the Romans used terms and terminologies like Wicca, wiki, and it basically meant like sorcerer, okay? But a lot of this stems from their term maleficus or malefia, and that was either to describe male or female bad magic practitioner, and anybody could be accused of it. So you could be high society, you could be poor, it did not matter. It mainly dealt with people who were considered to be deceivers, playing deception like scammers, or people who were poisoning others. The only thing is, there wasn't really much of a way to prove it, and a lot of people were falsely accused. A really great example of this is during the 4th century reign of the Emperor Valentinian. His Praetorian Prefect, who was known as Maximinus, ran extensive trials, blaming Roman aristocrats, and many were executed because of this. In fact, historians referred to him as a wild beast. His reign of terror eventually ended when the emperor died. But they're not the only believers in malevolent magic. It's been throughout history. There's records of it in the Greeks, there's records of it in the Mesopotamians, even in native Canada. There was said to be midwinds who were practicing bad magic that were making people ill. All throughout history and all throughout time, whenever something bad happened, like plagues or illnesses, people didn't know what it was. They didn't know what to blame or who to blame, but they knew that there had to be a source of it. So oftentimes, people were accused of bad magic or trickery or working with demons or devils simply because they were different and they were outcasts and society didn't like them. So they were easy to put the blame on. They were the scapegoats. The only difference is, throughout most of society and culture, we can see that there was both a balance of bad magic and good magic. But for whatever reason, during the medieval time period, it was just bad magic or God. There was no, good magic, even though technically what they performed is what we consider magic now. But magic really just means to have power. So when people were accused of magic, it's because they were worried that they had power. They had power over others. And that is particularly why women were accused of witchcraft, because they were worried about women having power. So what is a witch? A witch is someone who is an outcast. It's someone who was different from society. It's someone who did things differently. It was someone who was a healer, someone who worked with medicine. When you worked with medicine and herbs, it was really easy to be accused of poisoning people. So remember, to have magic is to have power.